All right, Bang. Today is Monday. It's June 13th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. Here we are, Snake Draft Monday. Returning guests, we are joined on Zoom by General Smitty. Smitty, welcome back. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited. I believe my last dog walk was my only dog walk in which I think it was Chief that sabotaged the Halloween draft.
I mean, that was in the past. We're not talking about that anymore.
I was upset that draft.
Explain to me how he did sabotage.
Because it was
I didn't sabotage anything.
No, it was it was Halloween, and it was like there was classic monsters and movies, and Chief just said Jason, and I assumed he meant Friday the 13th, but he meant it as his character. However, that didn't count because it was only classic.
Well, the category
characters.
wasn't monsters. So again, like this is a rudderless ship because our commissioner is a little,
which I'm sure we'll be speaking on shortly.
Well, I mean, it's what do you guys want? You guys want me to call it, or do you want me to be fair, or do you want me to take control? Because if you wanted me to take control, then Stu would have been on, and that would have been a reverse move.
Hey, I want you to be fair and be in control. I don't think that's too much to ask.
I don't think so.
A lot of questions about the council.
But that's where nobody on this fucking show makes sense.
I want to recall
where you guys want to talk about the council, but then you guys want to say it's my fault when it was the council who did this.
Well, can I tell you something?
What?
I do think it was the council's fault, but I also like blaming you for things.
I mean, I know. I understand
But maybe, just maybe, this council method stinks.
Maybe.
Well, I have yet to hear you bring up a good idea.
I say let's pack the court.
Because you don't have none, you dodo.
Let's pack the court. Everybody has 3 council members. So it's like, remember the Supreme Court, they want to be like, we got to have like 30 judges or whatever the people say now. Let's pack the court.
But I can't know who your council guys are.
Correct.
I want it to remain anonymous. Like we all have our own council.
So there's
But then we need an independent auditor that can verify that each of us has a council.
To counsel the council.
Now, would you trust everyone in this room to have a fair council?
No.
Okay, so three of the 4 of us I do trust very much.
You guys can fucking counsel for me. I don't care. Go for it.
All right.
Go for it. I
don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say.
You knew it was coming, though, right?
But what could I do about it? If he lost, he lost. There was nothing I could do. I fucking thought Stu was great. I liked his draft. Council didn't think he had the best board out of the 5.
Why'd you say you'd take yourself off the poll, or what was that?
That was I don't know. There was
a Hail Mary.
What do you mean?
It was a Hail Mary.
When I spoke to, what do you mean a Hail Mary?
To get the people back in your corner.
No, when I spoke, congratulations to me for winning. When I spoke,
you strategically removed your toughest competition. So.
Yeah.
Well, no, when I spoke to our note keeper, our scribe, social media Danny, he alerted me after that it's in the bylaws that can't be a move because that would also be going against the council. So I couldn't even override that. I tried.
So you let Danny Goatee Danny come over the top and tell you.
Goatee Danny.
I saw Danny walking down the street today on his way to Chipotle, and it was like striking, his facial hair.
Well, you should have seen it yesterday.
What's he trying to do with that?
Yesterday, we watched Redline Radio from last week, and you could see Goatee Danny.
It's actually stark. I think that's the word.
I think today, all I noticed was a mustache today. It's like he saw.
Yeah, he changed it.
Hey,
He
keeps
mustache.
He went out and saw Top Gun and came back with a
That's
mustache.
what I said to him.
Yeah.
That's what I said to him.
So, welcome, Smitty. Why so long in appearances with Smitty?
I thought you were on again. I did not know that.
That wasn't that long. It was a year ago, wasn't it?
I think it was 2 Octobers ago.
It was 2 Octobers.
Yeah, it was like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Jesus. Smitty.
And why wasn't he on the N64 draft? Who was on that one?
Emirags.
Comrades.
Was he?
Yeah, well, look what this guy's trying to do here. He's trying to fucking drive a wedge, Smitty.
It is what it is.
Coming to a rundown near you, another game time eruption based on White Dave. Come on.
That was fucked up. And Dave is fucking Switzerland in that beef, too.
Hey.
What beef?
Pick one right
Smitty,
now
is there
between
a beef?
Emirags and Smitty.
Smitty. But Smitty's like my real life friend. I like Emirags, though. I don't know him very well, but I've always gotten along with him great. I think that's perfectly fair.
I can't trust anything that comes out of that state-run media you guys got in that office. So.
No, I've said the same thing verbatim for years now. Look what he's wearing. Anytime he wears this shirt, he's up to something.
That's untrue.
That's not untrue. Every time you wear that shirt, you walk in all conspicuous like.
He's trying to get those China streams like the NBA.
It's exactly what he's doing.
Nope.
We need
Considering what you just did to Smitty, that you should apologize.
We need to. Who's that basketball player that we saw at LaGuardia that one time?
Oh, the guy from Turkey.
Yeah, Why am I blanking on his name?
Enos Cantor.
Enos Cantor. He changed his last name to
You saw
Enos
him?
Freedom, I think.
We saw him, and
he caught me trying to snipe a pic from the distance from him. I wasn't sending it to anybody, but like private text messages. But he saw me do it, and he
private text messages on probably Twitter and Instagram.
no, I didn't put it on Twitter.
And then we saw what's his face,
Jim, the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah,
Jim.
I can't.
Why am I blanking on his
I don't
name?
know. He was only there for like a minute, but anyways.
Mattis?
Yeah, Jimmy Mattis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jimmy Mattis, General Mattis, Mad Dog?
Yeah, we saw
Called
General
him
Mattis.
you just jimmied him? That's an all-time Jimmy?
He goes by Jimmy Mattis.
We hit it off, so we're on a first name basis.
Yeah, but there is that story you said, or I thought you guys said he was super friendly.
Yeah, super.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We walked up to the Secret Service head and we're like, hey, can we get a picture? And they're like, yeah, come on in. We took a picture with them.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Very unimposing guys, like shorter than me and like 120 pounds.
Dude, the stories of him
He's
like riding
badass.
into battle with like the fucking guns
Yeah.
out, like he'd be like in the front convoy if they were like crazy guy.
That was
Anyways,
crazy.
now we're off the fucking rails here.
It's all right. We're off the
What
rails.
else?
We'll get
Yeah.
back on the rails, though.
Smitty wouldn't know the first
back.
thing about
Enos
warfare.
Cantor, let's get him for a dog walk.
Yeah, we'll get
you
that.
and him a sit down thorough.
He'll explain all
we
the
did,
issues.
Eddie, we did and Carl, we did a snake draft. Me, White Sox Dave, Chief, and Ken Jack for Lights Camera Barstool War Movies, where we had to describe the movie. Chief, what was the movie? I even forget.
Warhorse.
Nope. I know it.
No.
Operation
It wasn't-
Mincemeat. Go ahead, Smitty.
Yes, Operation Mincemeat. So we're going through it, and Dave's just clearly Wikipediaing the movie, didn't watch it. So
That-
we just close the computer, say,
You're
hey,
so full
Dave,
of shit.
Describe
You guys
Operation
asked me
Mincemeat.
to. So I said I hadn't seen the movie. And then I
So
looked
we
up.
closed the
I
we
looked up
closed
the operation,
computer,
and after I looked it up, I had heard of it prior. So of course
and we
that's.
asked you to explain it, and Dave from the top just starts explaining World War II. That's it. Not
It's
the
like first
operation.
they landed
none
in
of the
North
specifics.
Africa.
That's it. I got there eventually.
I believe you.
There
Smitty.
were the Allies, and there were the Axis powers, and for a half hour,
He's so
you didn't
full
So
of
there
fucking
there
shit.
was this bad guy named Hitler.
I believe you.
Full of
Smitty.
shit.
I think we have a really good one today. I do. I'm really excited for this one.
This one's gonna jog the nostalgia.
It will. Smitty, great suggestion. Because I think.
Oh, but Eddie, this when it comes back on the Dave Portnoy show that we're building up this entity here. Yes, it was my suggestion, but it's your show and it's your approval process, so I had to go through you. Just throwing that out there for immunity's sake.
Yeah, sure. Because I mean, I guess it. Like, are you saying because it kind of relates to last week's Portnoy show, in a sense, or no?
No, I'd say it relates to one of Dave's most hated entities.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair.
So full immunity.
Whatever. I mean, he would not be able to argue that a lot of the shit he's going to love too that we're going to talk about. So
What is immunity? That comes up every now and then around here.
Smitty and I are immune.
We want immunity.
I want to be able to speak freely without facing punishment. So the draft is ESPN. You get one personality, you get one segment, you get 130 for 30, you get one commercial, and you get one original program. Obviously, the person does not still have to work for the company anymore. That goes without saying. A lot, people have moved on. People have since passed.
If
but
you draft
that's-
Big Cat, you're a fucking loser.
that's not.
Sorry.
It's true. They were on the.
They were on the
Did
network.
you see that? They were on the Wikipedia for a former original program.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I got a laugh out of that. But hey, if you're on, you're on. But yeah, so ESPN Glory Days are going to be talking today. Let's do the order. Let's do it. Harry has a number 1 through 5 behind his back. Smitty, what number is it?
Big 4.
No.
Carl,
2.
No.
3.
No.
5.
No.
You don't know what number it is.
1.
Yes.
Okay.
I personally don't think there's
A good spot to be in.
or bad spot. I think they're all pretty much the same.
Yeah, but I think I got to take number 1.
Okay.
Okay. 1 through 4, Smitty.
4.
Yes.
Boom. I mean, there's such a clear 1-1. Not much after that. I'll go 4.
All right, 1 through 3, Carl.
3.
No.
2.
Yes.
I will take the third spot.
1 or 2, Dave.
1.
Yes.
2 or 5.
I'll take 2.
All right, Carl in the 5 slot. Dangerous spot for him. The order goes Eddie, White Sox Dave, Chief, Smitty, Carl. Before we really get things kicked off here, though, I do want to talk about the Game Time app. Dave, what can you tell me about the Game Time app?
I can tell you right now that I will be attending the White Sox game on Saturday, and I will be using the Game Time app to get my tickets because I know that I'm going to wake up, I'm going to fuck around, I'm going to be lazy, and I'm going to be like, oh, shit, I need to get tickets if I'm going to get into the stadium. And the best way to do that is to go to download the Game Time app and, pop in whatever seat location I want to be and hit that game.
And we should say we are pre-recording. Dave, when people are listening, the White Sox are away next Saturday, so thank you for doing that. But regardless, you will be using the Game Time app for future White Sox games this season.
Used it last Sunday at Wrigley Field.
Did you?
It was a beautiful night, Sunday night, playing the Cardinals, Sunday Night Baseball. And I live like a 7-minute walk from Clark and Addison, so I'm just like, you know what? I'm going. And I went on there, found tickets for literally 85% off. Great seat, great time, had a couple of beers. Walked home. It was beautiful.
The
All thanks to Game
exclusive
Time.
ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. They pride themselves on last-minute price drops. And best part, you get $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app. Go to the account tab to create a login and redeem code DOGWALK for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Download Game Time. Last-minute tickets. Lowest price. Guaranteed.
What would you buy those tickets for?
I think they were face at $140, and I got them for $28 a piece, something like that.
Yeah, so you're basically getting a free seat, primo seats.
Yeah.
If you're a first-time user with the app.
And I'll say this, they were not the comped ones that we've gotten as part of this ad deal before. I just used the Game Time app because it's a great app, and it was super easy.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Okay. It's to me. First overall pick in the ESPN draft. One more time. Best personality, best segment, 30 for 30, commercial, original program. So, Smitty, you said there's a 1-1. I agree with you. My only concern is that it gets dinged for the recent product, but the original product, the one that we grew up on, is obviously the fucking heavy hitter in its Sports Center.
Yeah. I think that's
Yeah.
Duh.
Duh.
And that's what there is concern that, like I said, but listen,
does anybody watch it anymore? Because I don't.
the new one that, and listen, I'm going to have to name the new one that a certain talent does that's really friendly with Barstool.
Of course.
Is still very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's still very good.
Yes.
It's just a little too late for me.
And it's just the world just moved past it. I mean, you just don't need it anymore. But during its time, I mean, what else can you say about SportsCenter?
I logged so many hours doing that. And, you get up in the morning, especially if you're on spring break or in the summer
vacation, high school, and
you
middle
just
school.
watched. I would probably watch 3 to 4 full episodes of SportsCenter on repeat every morning.
That's it.
Yeah. You think that's it?
I mean,
How many hours do you think there are in the morning, Dave?
Yeah.
I'm watching that.
Eight. I'm talking 8 to 11.
I would have. They were only 30 minutes.
You went to
for
say
a while.
They were an hour.
They were 30 minutes for a while. Every 30 minutes.
Wrong.
How much would you like to
Sure, they were an
hypothetical?
hour.
They were definitely an hour as kids, but they did switch to a half hour at some point. I think.
When I was a kid, it was an hour.
Well, you're also very old. But the point is that everybody that is around our age block grew up watching it for hours and hours and hours on end.
Yep.
Every day, every single day. That was the only time that I could name the Red Wings how many points they had.
Oh, yeah.
Because I just had SportsCenter on all day.
All the time.
I miss when it was they made the switch to live. Remember, they changed the now whether or not it is live, but they just did fresh broadcasts instead of they'd have the one broadcast and they would just run it 6 fucking times. I didn't hate that at all because it was just one really good one, and then it became background noise. So you'd watch it the first time, and then you just keep it on, and it was a great thing to be on. I'm a huge proponent of having the TV on if you're doing work around the house or something. I always got to have something on, and that was really perfect.
Yeah.
And not only that, it was necessary. Pre-internet, there
Oh,
was
yeah.
no other way we were getting our sports news other than the newspaper. And to wake up, and I always got the juices going when the first story was a Philly story. So Philly Eagles beat the Cowboys last night. First story, SportsCenter's coming up, and you gotta get the morning going.
Yeah,
It's great.
it always sucked for me because all the teams that I rooted for were last third of the show. So that's all I really needed to watch.
That was the hockey problem too.
I'm sure. Yeah. They would
They used to cover it when I was a kid. So and I remember being on spring break and like they would always have the graphics of like the playoff chases, and they would kind of run those at the end, and it was just like it was just such a part of your every single day routine. Like SportsCenter was an institution.
And here's the thing too, you know how when you get a little older, what the background noise when you fall asleep on the couch and you wake up and maybe the DVD or whatever the menu audio was playing. You know what I'm saying? Like if you watch Top Gun, it'd be Danger Zone like a million times over and over. Before DVDs, you wake up and it was just the fucking Jason Giambi slamming a double, and he's browning the bases at the Coliseum. You know, like that was, it was your wake, like 2 a.m. whatever time it was. You always just had that in the background. So, SportsCenter's my pick. I think, like Smitty said, I think it was an easy 1-1. I do worry about the new school shit kind of hurting it, but hopefully, obviously, our listeners remember the nostalgia. And Ken Jack doesn't fuck me and put up like the 6 SportsCenter.
With some fucking, yeah.
Yeah, you know, but yeah, SportsCenter. There was 2 other heavy hitters, I think, but we'll see what happens. Well, maybe 3.
See, that's where I'm going with my first pick. So
are you up?
This show
Yes.
Yeah, you're up. Go.
has evolved and gotten better and better and better and better every year. It's still a phenomenon. Obviously, I'm baseball first, then football, specifically college football. I'm going College Game Day.
Yep.
It's my favorite because I'm a morning person. I'm up by 7 usually. And throw on 7 a.m., you got all these guys. You got the fucking crowd in the background, the Washington State, the Wazoo flag. It's that first College Game Day, and usually on the first week in the season, especially now. Like this year, they got Ohio State, Notre Dame.
Yep.
I'm sure Game Day will be in – is that in South Bend or Ohio State?
OSU.
It's at OSU. It's just like we made it. College football's here. I love College Game Day. I love all the personalities. They blend so well. They bring in the guest pickers. They're always pretty good. Like when they get McConaughey or whoever. I love College Game Day. It is my favorite thing that ESPN does.
It's like a tailgate right on your couch.
Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
It's that. Dave, I couldn't have said it better myself. It is like you set your calendar to it. You set your watch to it. You know, you get up, you have your coffee, and you flip on Game Day. I feel like they bumped it up an hour now too. Like it really, like in earnest, starts at 8. And I love when they're on the West Coast and it's just like pitch black. They're in Oregon, and it's awesome.
Now, have you ever been to a game day?
I have not. I know you have.
In 2014, Game Day was in Evanston for Ohio State Northwestern. Northwestern blew the game in the last like 5 minutes. Of course they did. But I got to my buddy, my Nick. I picked him up, and we got there at like 4 a.m.
Shout out Nick.
Everybody was there already. Everybody was, and it's really cool. The whole production team, they tell the fans like, hey, there's going to be a green screen of like Bucky the Badger if you're in Madison on top of you guys right now. Act like he's stomping it. Like it's really, really cool behind the scenes production that you don't see on TV, obviously. And they quarterback everything, and it's just a super cool experience. If you ever get a chance to do it, do it.
You hauled your ass up to the Coke deck, right? You
Yeah,
brought a Viva La Stool sign?
I did.
Coke Zero. Yeah.
They actually
I remember that.
There's a big banner that goes around the whole set, and it says like no advertisements, no religious statements, no political statements. Like you can basically say, hey, go Wildcats, and that's it, or some iteration of that. And so obviously Viva La Stool's out because it's promoting a competitor technically, but the production guy, he saw I had it in my waistband, like the big white board, and I tried to hide it under my shirt. He's like, dude, go and do it, but after a few minutes I got to take it away. And so he let me do it, and then he took it away.
I didn't know that piece of it. Yeah.
That's
he was
a good
cool
behind
about
the
it.
scenes,
Yeah.
White Sox
Yeah.
Dave. Old school Barstool.
And that was like such a thing for a while too.
Yeah, there was
Like,
always one that snuck in there. Yeah,
specifically Viva La Stool, and then there was always like a war to get them taken away.
So,
Or the best one ever was Paterno senses legal trouble, dies.
So many good signs.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's kind of like the opposite of hockey, where people are like, oh, you watch hockey on TV, wait till you see it in person. And you're like, holy shit. I think it's the opposite. Like, I've gone to game day and been like, really? Because when you watch it at home, to Chief's point, you plan around, it's perfect. Like, when game day comes on, you're like, the fucking games aren't even on for 3 hours.
Yeah.
But you feel like kickoffs, you know.
It's coming.
It's coming.
You're going to have your coffee. Tom Rinaldi's going to make you cry at some point, and then you're ready for kickoff.
But then if you go
and
there
you got
and you're
12
like,
straight hours of football.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it. It's like when we were there for the Notre Dame, we brought up like Notre Dame, Wisconsin this past year. You saw it was like,
Oh,
it was
I forgot
sad.
that we did it this
Yeah.
year.
It was
Yeah,
sad. It was
kinda.
almost. It was like. I'll be honest. It was like the first time I noticed that my dad was older. You had that. You were like, maybe not nearly as dramatic, but you have that. You're like, oh man, Dad's getting older. Like that's you see Game Day die, and you're like, man, it's just
that's a good.
But we're killing it. We're competitors now, right? Aren't we?
Yeah. I would say that like I love that story, Dave, but I don't think I would ever want to be there.
Yes, I mean, I personally would rather go to a Barstool college football show.
Me too.
Yes.
I think too.
Hey, you're nervous Dave's going to come for you, huh? You really want this.
Putting it on the record. It's okay.
The best compliment, it has lost a little luster, but it's still a fucking, you still care to a degree.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? You still want to see the highlight of what mascot helmet he put on.
He's a little...
He's hurt.
I know,
but it's fine.
I hope they let him do it as long as he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still it has, and that's a lot of things in ESPN have lost its luster. It still has.
I'll say one other thing. I don't dislike Reese Davis, but I do think it went down like maybe a tick without Fowler. I thought Fowler was just like a little bit better.
I think they're cut from the exact same cloth. Like you got that goofy ass senile old man. You got the vibrant like
Herb Street.
He's orange.
I didn't want to say his name.
He's no spring chicken now either.
Yeah,
I know he's not, but he still like can speak and he studies the game inside and out. He knows every player on every team in the fucking country, and he's like the college football guy. And I love how their personalities all bounce off each other.
I hate Desmond Howard.
I like Desmond Howard.
Nah,
I like that. He's smart as fuck.
I think they have other personalities there that would be better than him.
Better.
Yeah.
Regardless, I think it's a very good second pick, Dave.
That counts for original show?
Yeah, original program.
Yeah, original program.
Also, I don't know. I guess we could burn it when it comes to it, but there are certain original programs. I mean, you could take it technically, but I think it's lame if you take it. I'm just going to say that.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I think we all know what we're talking about.
Yes, exactly.
I don't, so we'll
Yes.
see.
You're up, Chief.
Well, I'm going to take an original program too, and I'm going to do they're like, but NFL primetime. NFL primetime when I was a kid, because there was no red zone. There was, so you would have like the cut-ins to see highlights. But that was, to me, like my routine was like you get home, you kind of have dinner, you watch NFL primetime, and then you watch The Simpsons. And that was like my Sunday night every single week during football season from ages like 8 until, 20. And those two guys, the music in the background, every single highlight of every single game, it was, to me, like it was a perfect highlight show. And I loved it. I look forward to it every week. I love the theme. I love the Big Cat and PFT parody on Mondays on PMTs too. So that to me, like if you're talking nostalgia, NFL primetime was it. So I loved NFL primetime.
Smitty, any thoughts?
No, he's right. I think it might be a little bit of a reach for programming, going back to back shows like that. I think you got it a little bit down, but I think anybody like us growing up watched decades of NFL primetime and enjoyed it. So
yeah, I agree. I think there's one fucking super heavy hitter that I would argue is better, but
than that.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see.
But so you got to be happy, Carl, Smitty. But NFL primetime, it's classic.
I think it is a reach, but yeah.
I think this is the thinnest category.
You think so?
I do.
There's some old school ones that were discontinued that I fucking love. That like maybe aren't draftable, but I can't wait for honorable mentions to give them a shout out.
All right.
But like, yeah, out of the five, like, this would be drafted. But I agree.
Yeah.
Probably could have got a different spot. On that note, Smitty, you're up.
It puts me in a tough spot because you're saying that there's a really heavy hitter that I might be overlooking here, but I'm going for the jugular from the start, and we're going commercial. And when you say commercial, there's a lot out there. There's a ton, but there's a one recent one that just laugh out loud every single time, and I think it's far and away the best commercial. And rest in peace, John Clayton. But him and that Slayer,
yeah, it's so good.
Him and that Slayer outfit is just so.
Mom, the meatloaf.
It's a really good pick, Smitty, because it's the best recent commercial too. Because a lot of the commercials are you got to jog the memory. You're going through YouTube. You're like, oh, that was a good one 20 fucking years ago. But man, the John Clayton and The other great thing about it was there's that long I don't know if it was like a conspiracy or a meme or a thing on the internet where it was like, does John Clayton have a mullet or a ponytail or something?
Because it looked that real.
And he leaned into it. I thought it was like a spoof for the commercial. He had the long hair or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm. Wait.
Does he actually have the long? Did he actually have the long hair?
I don't think so.
I don't think he did. No. It was a wig, but they
think
did a great job.
But people but before the commercial, Dave, like a thing about him was like, dude, does Clayton have a ponytail
And
for
that's
like
why
20
I think
years?
they did that.
I don't remember that.
Yes.
And I think it was partly
it was
like
it was a big
definitely,
conspiracy,
yeah.
huge conspiracy that he.
And it was like he's a Seattle guy, so like it would
grunge,
it would kind of make a little bit of sense.
It is the perfect rumor. It's a perfect like I had a rumor amongst my friend group that there was a guy who got paid a certain amount of money to wipe the sweat off of Derek Fisher's head, and it was one of those you could never confirm or you could never really like do enough research to. Like he never turns around. You never knew if he had a ponytail.
He's
or
just
not.
sitting in front of the camera.
You know, and there was no people taking creep shots of him on Twitter in 2002 because it wasn't around. But I don't know, Smitty.
It's a good rumor. If we're talking rumors, my one buddy spread a rumor about his buddy's ex in college that she only had one nipple, and they ended up breaking up over it. It's like, how do you confirm or deny that?
I mean, she's got to prove it.
It
Dump 'em
was
out.
a ruthless rumor. But then again, that's what makes this John Clayton commercial so perfect. It's like the most newest old school thing that SportsCenter did. That
is one thing that ESPN just, I don't want to say revolutionized because I don't know if like anybody did this in the 80s or early 90s, but their commercials are just top tier. Them and Affleck, I would say. Affleck commercials, some of them make me laugh out loud. The Pinocchio ones. They're so
Geico?
fucking funny. Geico.
Geico, yeah. Geico was elite. The caveman was great. But this, I think, is a really good pick, Smitty. I think the commercial is going to be an interesting one because, like we're talking about, and like we did yesterday, a lot of us were watching them. A lot of people are probably going to remember. I feel like this will be one that people will remember. Yeah. So I do like the pick.
You gotta, if you're too young to remember this shit, just go and Google it because they're commercials. They're 30 seconds long, but some of them are just classic early 2000
How
TV.
about this? I'll blog it on Monday.
Boom.
There you go.
I like that.
Yeah.
Attaboy.
Carl, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to go number one on air. So we have a run, Smitty, and I appreciate you as a guest pointing out like the big run on original programs. So I have a couple original programs I like, two in particular that I feel comfortable saving till the end. 30 for 30, so deep.
So deep.
So deep. I'll get lost in that category. So
I don't know
just
if I've ever seen a bad 30 for 30.
I have.
There's been a little boring one.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Maybe
there's
not bad.
We'll get to honorable mentions. We should have done a category bad ones. The one we did.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow, was that one bad?
Okay,
We'll
I
save
take it
that.
back. That one's bad.
So bad. This is bad podcasting. I apologize to our audience. I'm going to make a pick here. I'm taking Scott Van Pelt. Okay, so obviously there's more nostalgic guys, but Scott Van Pelt's carried the torch from when it was great SportsCenter to today. I love that he has his own show. I don't know if that could probably still be eligible, I'm sure. But just sticking to Scott, came up as the golf guy. I think it was a golf channel. And then ESPN wanted to get more into golf. So then they go to him, they bring him in, and he's just electric. He's charismatic, and he brings this vibe and energy that then ESPN was like, wait, it's more than expertise. This guy really connects with the audience. It's deeper than just like the fucking catchphrases. People want to hear what Scott Van Pelt has to say.
He is ESPN now.
Yeah, he is.
You know, like if you were going to name a personality, he's number one off the list. And he's probably, on the last Portnoy show when they were going through Dave had his list of like our top 6 or 8 are better than anybody. SVP, I think, is the only guy left at ESPN that people care what he has to say.
There's more. There's
You
more
think
side
so?
analysts and whatnot. Yeah, I'm not going to say him, obviously.
But no,
if you're
but
saying main show SportsCenter,
he's the only one.
fine.
like of anchors.
He can carry an hour better than anybody else, and I think that there aren't other people in the pipeline that can do it the way Scott does.
Correct.
Correct. I agree. But sorry, Smith.
Pound for pound, entertainment wise, Scott Van Pelt is the only quote unquote 90s SportsCenter anchor left.
Yeah. Yeah, like he's cut from that cloth from the other guys. I'm sure that'll get listed here, but he's to me like he's the guy. Like he is. Like
he was the only
He's
one.
tier 1. There's still some people there that are OGs that are tier 2 that are still really good, but I agree they don't command the stage like Scott does.
Yeah.
So one other thing, there's the voicemail he left. I don't know if you remember this. This is back in the internet when you could leave that, and that was funny. Like if that happened today, like Scott Van Pelt, I mean, he's not canceled by any means because it's just a weird voicemail and funny. He's just hammered, but like
he was hitting on a girl.
Yeah, it was that's part of his brand was like he and fucking Bill Self would go out to the bars at Kansas after like a game and get loaded with students. And he, before social media and Twitter and having your phones on and all that stuff, he would like ingrain himself in that stuff. And he had this reputation. And so it's cool to see the evolution, the arc of his career, because there's a very good chance that we're watching Scott Van Pelt on SportsCenter for as long as that guy's on TV. And I will say, if there was a guy, you know, former SportsCenter guys that go mainstream, like Scott Van Pelt has to be the number one on-air person where like a big news network would be like, God, please, just we would love to give you a show, because he would take so many of us. Like who would fucking turn off the TV when Scott Van Pelt's on?
He's why people are hanging on in my eyes.
Yep.
Reason.
I used to love his midday radio show too. Like when that was like I would used to plan my my first ever job. I hated that job. But I would I just have to get to
SVP and Rosillo.
Yeah, I just have to get to like 11 a.m. or noon, and I can take an hour lunch break and listen to that, and then just try to power through the rest of the day. And I looked forward to that show for that hour every single day because I thought it was that good. So
yeah, I mean, he was going to be one of the 5 personalities taken.
Mm-hmm.
Sure,
I'm cool with him being the first one.
Yep.
Obviously, there's debate on the rest, but
yeah, because there's other more like bigger names and
I've
brands,
seen it
but
taken
like
him
I like
second overall.
them. Yeah.
You're up again.
Okay. I'm going to take oh, you know what? Last thing too, Scott, it still hits when he does like a Barstool shout out. I think that for how big Barstool's gotten, all the mainstream stuff, you're like, yeah, we're big now. But like, I don't know, Scott Van Pelt calls out Big Cat and a highlight. You're like, yeah, dude, we're fucking doing it.
I agree.
And he would do like the Yapo calls too.
It's awesome. It never gets old. I'm taking a segment here. I think segment's by far the thinnest category, and I'm taking not top 10.
That's fuck. Yep.
And I think they only did it when they started. It would be once a week, and they have the music playing.
It's on Fridays only, I think.
I thought they started doing it more regularly, just because they got like feedback that it's the most widely engaged thing you can put on social, or like people fucking things up. And so instead of being like highlight, and ESPN's like, well, we got to get bigger, we got to get more clicks and eyeballs. They're like, oh, we got to do more stupid stuff. So I think they really leaned into not top 10, but there is a window there where you caught it. You're like, oh, they're doing not top 10. They're cutting a commercial. Like, and when we come back, not top 10, you'd sit through the commercials for it. I love not top 10. Smitty?
No, I mean, not top 10 is great. Like, I think that's a very good pick. You're right about segments. Like, probably the thinnest categori out there. And somebody's going to throw out just the worst segment possible. And I think I know who it is.
Really?
That's rude. Felt like a dig.
I feel like there's a lot. I think there's definitely enough. There's sometimes. 5.
Yeah, I think there's probably 5.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them piqued my attention or had like it's coming up, not top 10.
Oh, really?
It was also a thing like for a while. It was like this has been the not top 10 number 1 play for like 58 weeks in a row. So it was like if you got caught in that cycle of shame, there's a chance you're never getting out.
Dude, they did like original programming off of the not top 10. I think we'll talk about it.
I appreciate you going with not top 10 instead of the.
Yeah,
I mean, because the other one's still on the board,
and the other one's much probably gets a lot more playing time.
Yeah, no, that's a good pick. Not top 10 was classic. Smitty
is classic.
Is classic. Yeah,
still around.
We're gonna stick with personality before they start to fly off the board, and I got to get my guy before he gets picked. I grew up big time Stuart Scott fan.
Yep,
just a big mainstay guy. Cool as the other side of the pillow. Was great in everything that he did. Rest in peace, obviously. But people don't know, like during the almost a decade probably he was like fighting cancer. He was still going to work out every morning and doing his job and doing the damn thing until like Nate blogged that like something's wrong with Stuart Scott. And,
he basically said like Stuart Scott looks like he's dying from cancer, and he was dying from cancer.
And he absolutely was. But Stuart Scott, just a fucking cool, funny dude. Somebody you just watched and grew up and wanted to be.
Yeah, I mean, he's like same thing. Like if there's 5 personalities, like he was going to be one of them.
For sure.
He was going to be one of them.
I think for me, he was the clear 2.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, I agree. I didn't want to be the one who take 1.
I thought he got. I know it's just hard to say, but there was a time when it got stale.
You thought so? Like the catchphrase and everything?
Big time.
Yeah, because you could just tell he's just like writing, just like, give me the stuff, give me the highlights. I'm just gonna booyah it.
But so much credit to the originality of all that.
He
shit.
started. Yeah.
Cooler than the other side of the pillow. Like so many awesome that have stood the test of time.
He didn't invent the sport highlight, but he certainly made it awesome.
Yeah, because catchphrase was talked about as a possible category for this draft. I mean, he would have had a million drafted.
Yeah.
That would have just been
Actually-
the Stuart Scott category.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Should've
pretty
done
much.
that.
Him and SVP.
I
Oh,
like
no,
what we
we're
have
fine.
more.
We have a good draft going. This is
I
we're
like
deep
more.
here.
But yeah, Stuart Scott and
I didn't mean that.
no, that's all right. I can't. Well, never. We feel like we've. But Mr. Portnoy, I can't think of him anymore without thinking of Mr. Portnoy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna lead with that
yeah,
because
I
I was gonna take him there. Smitty didn't take him.
Chief.
Yeah, I guess I'll go. It's the deepest category, but I'll take the 30 for 30. I'll take the 2 Escobars. I thought that was a fantastic show about a subject that I like remembered kind of because I think I was like 7 or 8 when that happened, and then so to see it in like the full detail, fully explained, where it's like you have just like an inkling of knowledge about it, and then the full deep dive of what was really going on in Colombia and the World Cup and like the culture of it. It was, to me, it was fascinating. And that is one that I remember because I think that was in the first season of that show.
Yeah, it was.
And I was like, they're onto something because the actual first ever episode was I won't say it. I don't think anyone would take it, but it was hockey related.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know, like this wasn't that cool because it had a lot of hype. And then I saw that one, I'm like, I was hooked. So the 2 Escobars, I think that is one of the best.
Fantastic pick. I was between 2. I'm happy you took the bat out of my hands because I like both of them a lot, but this is one of my favorites, top 5 for me. If you would have told, I don't like soccer. I don't watch soccer. We
I don't even think it's a soccer.
But still, though, if you would have told me there was a 2-hour, all subtitles, not a subtitle guy, about soccer, and I would have loved it, I would have said, no, you're crazy.
Right.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was fucking awesome.
It's awesome.
If you've never seen it, I don't know, by the take of the room, I take it no one else has seen it.
I don't think I've seen it, but I know the story very little bit.
Yeah, it's about a soccer player from Colombia who essentially he just scores on his own goal against the United States in the World Cup that was in the United States in '84, kind of, and then juxtaposed against Pablo Escobar, who was like the drug kingpin of the world, one of the most famous guys, infamous guys ever, and they like kind of weave those two stories together and kind of bring it full circle, and it's fascinating. So if you have Disney Plus or ESPN Plus,
watch it.
You should watch it. Dave, you should watch it.
I'll watch it.
Okay.
Did anybody not like it, Smitty or Carl? Not anybody?
No, it's up there consensus wise as one of the best 30 for 30s for sure.
I mean, the guy gets fucking killed.
Yeah.
For scoring his own goal.
Yeah.
That's a whole different level of 30 for 30. It's not like, oh, he had to go to Florida and change his name.
Yeah.
No.
Like,
dead.
this should be like the next movie. This should be the next movie Vinny Chase stars in. Like,
Yeah,
should be
yeah.
a story.
There should be a real life movie adaptation though.
Yeah,
Like, it's
for
so
real.
fucking good.
Yep.
It's so good. So I love it. White Sox Dave.
I'm going to stick with the 30 for 30s as well, and I'm going to go with the U.
That's one of my other favorite ones.
It was because I was too young to really remember the rise of the Miami football program, but like watching that, it's like you got Dan Marino and the fucking Miami Dolphins, who were awesome. Dan Marino's the best quarterback in history up to that point, maybe, and like Dan Marino will be waiting in line for a club, and the Miami Hurricanes will walk up, most of them underage, and they'll be cutting in line in front of the Miami Dolphins.
Well,
they were just like ruling the world. Like, obviously, Catholic versus convicts. I loved everything about that documentary, and I've watched it a handful of times since. I don't think I've ever gone back and watched it 30 for 30 other than this
I've
one.
rewatched that one too.
Yeah.
And I think the timing of that one was perfect because enough time had passed that everybody was just like, yeah, fuck it, let's just tell the truth. So like Michael Irvin was letting it rip.
Yeah.
And it's like a who's who of football. So like even if like I don't remember Michael Irvin at Miami, obviously.
No, I don't.
But
everybody
everybody our age knows him from the Cowboys, and like so he's like one of those names. And Jimmy Johnson, so all these guys were willing to like just kind of let it rip because it's been 25, 30 years or whatever.
Statute of limitations.
Yeah, it's just gone. So like the stuff at the clubs and who was the rapper who was like funding everything?
It was just,
so it was like very, very cool.
It was like college football to a core.
Yeah.
Just the corruption and the
All of it,
competition.
yeah.
Like, they're not there to play school.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, too, this was really the first one that made it
correct.
take off, though.
Right. I
Like,
think
this
it
is where it's
probably
like,
was.
did you hear
Yeah.
about these fucking 30 for 30s? They just
Yeah.
do it on
Yeah.
Miami.
You gotta watch it.
Fucking,
Gotta
it was
watch
And
it.
crazy.
isn't
Yeah.
it the only one with the sequel?
I think so.
I didn't know if that was a 30 for 30, though. Are
It
you
is.
talking
Yeah, it was.
Catholics versus Convicts
no,
was?
no,
No.
that's different.
No, that was a third one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they had. Well, I'll
The-
just
the
say
U
it,
part two.
The U part
Yeah.
two.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that, and that would really detailed like the 99 through
The Nevin Shapiro.
Yeah,
years.
yeah, yeah. And with like
I got you now,
Jeremy,
yeah.
Jeremy Shockey
Yep.
and
Yeah.
those guys. Yeah,
But
The running back, what's the fucking name?
the
Willis
U's a great
McGahee.
pick.
Yeah, Willis McGahee.
Fucking our guy, third leg Greg.
yeah, Greg
7-4
Olson.
crew.
Yeah,
But it's a good pick. Yeah, I think it's definitely worthy of one of the 5 being drafted in a fucking massive field.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I really remember the U being the first one. Like, yo, they're doing these like sports
Yeah.
stocks. It's awesome.
yeah.
So,
And shout out Bill Simmons because I think he
He-
was.
I know fucking Portnoy hates his ass and everything, but he's really fucking good at what he does.
Yeah.
He's really good at what he does.
Yep.
oh yeah.
Well, at some of the things he does.
That's,
Yeah.
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 Then he was the best.
Yeah.
Written word, awesome.
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of a tip because he technically draftable, but
I guess you're right. I don't really. That's my bad.
No one
I-
was gonna fucking pick
no, I don't think it's
Yeah.
smart if they did, but
Yeah.
whatever. All right, it's to me. Fucking tough, man. Personality, I think there's 2 fucking heavy hitters left, and there's 3 guys that haven't picked. So, unless if you're gonna go totally rogue, which is very possible.
It's possible.
The look on your face. The look on your face. All right, I gotta take the guy you think about behind the desk, the good guy behind the desk, not the fucking asshole who turned into a lunatic. His partner, I gotta take Dan Patrick.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fucking Sports Center, man.
Yeah.
I thought about him in my spot too.
He's Sports Center, dude.
He's great.
He's just not. I love him. He's great at what he does. He's just not that funny.
See,
Only way to nip.
but-
I don't agree
disagree.
with that.
Yeah.
I don't agree
I
with
disagree.
that. I think he's pretty funny. He had
He-
great.
I think
This
you
is-
calling Dan Patrick not funny makes you not funny.
Yeah, this is half hour Sports Center Dave talking right now.
Like Dave, if you like that delivery and the way he,
Yeah.
fucking,
Of course,
like, that's-
he's unbelievable at what he does, but he's not up there like cracking jokes necessarily here and there.
he
yeah.
is though. But the way
Yeah,
he
it's
does
deft.
it is so subtle and
Yeah.
it's so fucking
It's
just-
Dry.
Yes.
Yeah, it's dry. It's
Yeah.
very dry.
Which is like my
Yeah,
favorite.
Dave
type.
Dave needs that Shrek humor that's like big
Shut
cold
up,
thrown into his face. Cold when to laugh.
There's
He
a
needs
ton
laugh
of
track on
there's a
everything.
ton of subtle humor in Shrek. That's part of the reason I love it.
Big Bang Theory guy, Dave.
I've never watched an episode. In fact, I feel
Geico commercial, Dave.
disgusted when I turn on TBS. Like Seinfeld was on the night before, I turn on the TV and TBS is on again, and then all of a sudden Big Bang Theory is on my TV. I feel a little sickened with myself that it's even like the audio made it to my ears from that show. So no, I don't like Big Bang Theory.
I can't believe you said Dan Patrick's not funny.
I don't. It's not that he's
Yeah.
not funny. It's that he's not laugh out loud funny. Not that any of the other guys are necessarily, but like he's not a stand up comedian up there. I don't know.
But he, like many people, like I mean, he was Van Pelt before Van Pelt, bro.
Big
like,
time.
You know, he
Yeah.
was, he was the guy,
Yeah, he's Van Pelt with hair.
Yeah.
and he's like one of the few guys that have been able to walk away and be super successful.
I thought
on
his
their own.
NBC show was great.
Yeah.
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 He's
No,
still
he-
going somewhere, right?
Yeah, he still does it. It's like simulcast and
Yeah.
some podcasts
Yeah.
with the Nets.
Great hair, mind you.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
hair.
Fantastic.
Still going strong.
Unbelievable hair.
How old is he now? 60 something?
Gotta be.
Yeah,
And I think
don't
he
think
got
s-
his start at CNN.
Did he?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I don't know.
This is a different Dan Patrick.
You thought he was 72?
Yeah,
He always trends because isn't there like some political guy?
yeah.
He's
He's
always
66.
I would not
Okay.
have guessed that, man.
6'3" with a silky jump shot, too.
Yeah. So I'm happy to have Dan Patrick. He's a classic. Sports Center Dan Patrick 1 and 2 is it's a nice touch, I think. All right, it's to me. Before I make my next pick, though, I do want to talk about the official beer of Barstool Chicago. And what beer is that, Chief?
That's Miller Lite. Great tasting, less filling Miller Lite.
Miller Lite. Summer brings priceless moments when you can kick back with some friends and grab a few cold beers. Those summer moments are made that much better with Miller Lite because summer loves beers that taste like beer. And with just 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces, Miller Lite is the perfect beer to sip on all summer long. Give me, a hot summer day. Everyone loves to sit there and grab it from the cooler. And what's Miller time like for you, Dave? What screams Miller time for you?
You just brought up the word summer, and everybody knows that's my favorite time of year. Baseball, barbecues, everything under the sun, street fest, all that. The White Sox, for whatever reason, got away from their Miller Lite partnership a handful of years ago, but they came to their senses and they came back. I cannot wait to crack an ice cold, great tasting, less filling Miller Lite at Sox Park on Saturday.
They got that bar in the 108, right?
Yep,
right,
they do.
Right field line.
Yep.
Yep.
It actually enhanced my
Experience.
White Sox experience, knowing that they're Miller Lite. We went there for the Wish Fest thing, and I was like, you know what? This is a much better experience than I remember. And it was all thanks to Miller Lite.
Beautiful. So next time you're getting ready to enjoy cold ones with your crew, go to MillerLite.com/Redline to find the delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. All right, I'm up again. I'm going to go commercial. I mean, I think you know what I'm taking because I loved it so much in the fucking cocktail draft. I'm taking the Arnold Palmer commercial. There was something about him having a fucking caddy, and he got fucking Van Pelt behind him, and they're sitting there. He's pouring his Arnold Palmer like, that was awesome. He's like, I know. There was something sweet about that Arnold Palmer commercial. So I don't know if there's a ton to say, but
no, it's a good one. It's a good one,
and it's memorable too. Like I said, you got to worry about that. I think people will remember this one. It was notable. Anything else?
No. He's not still kicking, is he?
No, he died.
Yeah, he's passed on. I'm just making sure.
Yeah, he died. White Sox Dave.
I'm sticking with the commercials. I'm so glad I got this one. It's my favorite SportsCenter commercial ever. I'm watching it as we speak, and it's just so fucking perfect. Steve Irwin with the Florida Gator coming out of the elevator.
That is a great one.
It is. It's 30 seconds long. It's perfect commercial. Everybody loved the croc hunter, and just walking around the ESPN offices, he's getting all animated with his hands, talking about his croc hunting excursions, and then the Florida Gator pops out of the elevator as if a mascot's just walking around the ESPN tech rooms and all that shit. Pops out of the elevator, and Steve Irwin's like, "Oh, crikey!"
It's a great one.
And he jumps on his back and wrestles him down. It's just perfect. I love it.
One.
It's my favorite one ever. I couldn't be happier it got to me. I think that should have been the first commercial drafted.
You think so?
I think over the John Clayton one, yeah.
It very well could have. Clayton one's so perfect and recent that's why I went with that. But there were 4 commercials in my research that I thought could be like number one. This was definitely one of them.
It's a great one. I agree. Anything else? No. Chief?
Well, I'm struggling with the segment one, to be honest. I got the full list up here for SportsCenter segments on.
Doesn't have to be SportsCenter specific. It's all ESPN.
Oh, all ESPN.
Yeah.
Well, I'm taking Web Gems then.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's a nice assist. I thought I was in my brain. I was stuck.
Remember that
on,
when you tweet out Red Ad later today.
I might. But yeah, so all right, you know what? Because of that assist, I won't tweet anything about Red Ed for 1 week.
Thank you.
Unless he elicits a tweet about being a dirty commie.
Right. Well, no, I made a promise. I'm going to stick to it. No, I'll have no Red Ed comments for a week. I might retweet, but I won't tweet it myself.
Thank you.
Anyways, that was another thing where it's like I watched that show in the summers all the time, and that was like the perfect end to that show where you got all the best defensive plays of the day, great highlights, and that was an era where it was just all about home runs. I feel like when I was watching that show, I'm trying not to say the name of the show in case somebody wants to take it, but the Web Gems of that, at the end of the show is like, this is sick, and you would just have all the best baseball plays. And I watched baseball back then way more than I do now, and that I basically watched that show and went to bed when I was 12 to 16.
It was, it's a good segment when it takes over how you call a nice play.
Yeah,
like you
true.
see that play, unreal glove it, whatever.
Yep.
Like, oh, that was a web gem.
Web
Did you
gem.
see his
Yeah,
web gem?
yeah.
You know it's a good segment.
Yep.
When it's like Kleenex and tissue.
Yep.
It takes over, and that's what you called a good play in baseball is a web gem.
And I also like the fact that the web gems called out players, and again, this is like pre-internet and Twitter, where like it didn't matter if you were good or not, or if you were a good hitter, an all-star, whatever.
Right.
Like, anybody could go out and make a web gem, and then you were featured on the show, and you were highlighted.
Yeah.
Like Eric Burns is the perfect example of like,
Pokey
why the fuck
Reese.
would anybody know who Eric Burns is? Other than the
Yeah.
fact he came out was just making web gems left and right when he broke in the league.
But it also went the other way. Like Omar Vizquel would make an incredible play every single night, but you can't give him a fucking web gem every single night because Pokey Reese needs some lower.
They got like once smartphones started becoming a thing, and this is obviously when ESPN was on its downslide. Like a high school kid could make a play, and they would be on the web gem segment.
But even then, us being younger, like it was even odds that you were going to turn on that TV every day, and it was going to be Torrey Hunter robbing someone's ass
Yeah, I love
for a
Torrey.
web gem.
Yeah. Yep.
Legend. Great pick. Smitty.
Very happy this fell to me. Culturally, it's for better or worse, has changed the way sports are debated. And during its prime, in which I would say, 20 years ago at this point, it was must-watch TV every single night. It took control of the after-school calendar, and that is, pardon the interruption.
That's
PTI.
incredible value in the third round. That's the one.
Yeah.
I really wanted it, but my hands were tied with Sports Center. I think
Yeah.
PTI is unbelievable.
That was another, like, the after school thing was key, but it got to the point where I just did not like the two hosts. So I think it had like, for me, it had like a 4-year run, something like that, maybe a little bit less.
It was so good.
I would say longer than that.
I said
I'd say
me.
I'd say for a decade. But then the market started to become oversaturated with like super hot takes and people going back and forth.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they got diluted a little bit. But Wilbon and Kornheiser, and then like you get the substitution of Levitard. You got Stat Boy, Tony Reale.
Yeah.
Forget about that. That's how you got to start. I mean, it was a power hitter back in the day.
But they had the secret
is.
sauce.
Yeah.
I'll still watch it if it's on. Like, I can't say the same
it's
about
on every day.
I know, but I can't say like the same about the show that's before it.
Yeah.
I think that show was a once great show and is not anymore.
Yeah.
It sucks now.
I don't know if it's being drafted.
It's not going to be drafted.
So you can just call it out.
I mean, I don't. He might take it. I don't want to
Say it.
No, don't
say it.
Or-
You guys are in the. Yeah, I'm
Don't
not
say
taking
it.
that.
around
Say
the
it.
horn.
Yeah,
Around
you guys
the
can
horn.
say
Around
it.
the Horn was a once great show. And
I always thought that. I thought like the takes were fine and good, but I hated that fucking scoring system.
but still though,
there was no
was
scoring
about,
system. That was the joke.
But it wasn't a joke.
It kind of was because he would just give like 20 randomly points to somebody.
But it was about Woody Page. It was about Plasky. It was about that dickhead Jay Mariotti.
Yeah.
They had something well.
I wish we could have asked.
Who hosted it before?
It's always been
Max
Kellerman.
Kellerman.
Oh, Kellerman. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah, before reality.
Yeah. Now it's just the personalities are. Sarah Spain, get the fuck out of my face. She sucks.
We knew. Listen.
Eddie.
We knew that was going to come, right, Smitty? That was a lock.
Worst personality was a category we got taken off due to legal issues with White Sox Dave getting off his leash, possibly.
Smitty projects so much.
But
just constant projection out of that kid.
PTI they figured something out, man.
Yeah.
Like with the fucking rundown on the side. And
that was like revolutionary because that would keep you locked in, be like, I'm going to wait until they're talking about that subject. 5
good minutes. The way that Kornheiser and Wilbon would read it off, like the topic, it would get like super serious and like, I don't know, there's something beautiful about the way they do that show.
It was like a revolutionary show.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
It just launched all the unfortunate bullshit we see today.
Correct.
I met Michael Wilbon in line to get into Ryan Field at a Northwestern game. He was with Rachel Nichols. Both very, very nice people.
I have a similar experience at United.
He's super tall. He's like 6'4", I remember.
Oh, no, he's shorter than me. Wilbon? No.
I remember him being like super tall and gangly. This is like 7-8 years ago, but
no. I don't know.
That's also like
go ahead, Smitty. Go ahead.
From your perspective, it's like
Go
a
ahead.
5-year-old looking up at adults, like wherever you go. So
I can't wait to just cave his face in one day. I'm gonna fucking make your son watch while I just fucking beat your brains into raw hamburger
It's
meat.
crazy that
and I project.
Yeah.
And this guy says all the time about how he calls someone in your family that is a veterinarian, and he's going to do that to you. That's fucked up, Smitty.
I can't deal with this guy.
Smitty's helped me out with that too.
Yeah, see, and he's going to do that to you, Smitty.
That's
fucked
part
up.
of the
Exactly. My wife needs to bill you. You're getting up on hours.
I
My
haven't
favorite-
consulted your wife on a veterinarian issue in months and months and months.
Yeah, not since you called and you're worried about like this red spot or whatever. And we take a look at it.
This
and it
is
ends up being
this is
dried
fake.
spaghetti sauce.
This is fake.
No.
This is
True story.
so fucking fake. It is unbelievable.
Wait.
It's so fucking fake. And this is the second time he's used this.
Time out. Smitty, explain from your perspective, and then Dave, you'll explain yours.
So my wife's a veterinarian, and Dave has Ace. Obviously, he has no idea how to take care of him. I'm surprised Ace is still living, but that's what happens when Ace is running the household. So he'll send pictures and stuff of things that look off. Hey, is this vet worthy? Should I bring him in and whatnot? And one time, like he's worried about this red spot. I'll dig up the picture, and my wife, she's like, I don't know what that is. So we figured it out, and it turns out it was just dried spaghetti sauce.
Your point, all right, Dave. You may speak.
Smitty and I stream a decent amount, not as much as we should, because Smitty, as everybody in the Barstool universe knows, is just the laziest motherfucker ever. So, and just you can ask Dave Portnoy about that if you'd like to get some unbiased opinion on the matter. Anyways, yes, I have consulted Smitty's wife. I'd say over the last 2 years, probably about 10 times on various medical issues with my dog, and this story that he is saying just never happened, ever.
Sounds like even if it didn't happen, it does sound like something that would happen.
Exactly. So but he says he's got pictures and texts. I could dig up all our texts. I could find it, I'm sure. But
so there was no spaghetti sauce.
There was no spaghetti sauce.
Ketchup.
He had rashes a while back, I remember, and I asked about them, and I had to go and get this like $80 foam that knocked it out. It was just allergies or some shit, but it was never, ever, ever spaghetti sauce.
I will agree with you that I don't consider, as a mostly Italian and a former pasta salesman, Prego as spaghetti sauce.
Oh.
I make my spaghetti sauce from scratch in a crock pot.
Damn.
Or on the stove if I'm
sure
in a rush.
We need to get the text. I'll be honest. I need to see if this actually happens.
We'll get on the roll.
Open the books. Open the books.
Open the books, Smitty.
PTI, great pick. Carl.
I'm gonna take it 30 for 30. I'm gonna do OJ Made in America.
That was a great one.
Very good one.
A lot of value.
Was that
Oscar
the name
winner.
of it?
There's two of them.
What was the FX one called?
I think that was
That was
OJ Made in
People
America
versus O.J.
is
Simpson.
yeah, that's People versus OJ Simpson.
That was the one
Okay.
with
There's two. There's one that's the 1994
Yeah.
one, and then there's like the longer form
right.
one that won an Oscar.
Now,
That's
the
what I'm taking.
only distinction here that I will bring up for the council is this was a 5 or 6 part series.
I think it still counts.
But
as
it was
one, though.
30. It
Still
was a
counts.
30 for
Okay.
30 though.
That's-
It's
Yeah.
branded that way.
And even if I just Googled it now, it says documentary says crime, excuse me, and it says 8 hours. So, I mean, it's one, but it's just in parts.
no, that's fine.
Yeah, I think it counts.
Yeah, it definitely counts.
Nope. Let's make him take which specific episode.
Yeah,
he likes
which
the
one
best.
did you like the most?
Yeah.
The chase one?
You know what?
Yeah.
The way
Smitty-
3 bleeds into 4 is a real piece of art.
You're 36?
37.
30, so Jesus. That's
Yeah.
gross.
tough.
Do you remember the OJ chase? Because I remember it. That's like one of my earliest memories.
Yeah, vaguely.
I don't remember the chase. I remember the trial.
I was in second grade, and I remember even in second grade, the entire class was talking about when he got acquitted. And I remember the chase. My dad was watching it, laughing his tits off.
His future friend.
His future friend. And that was in 94, so that would have been about 12 or 13 years later.
What's the story about? Like your dad met OJ,
He ran into OJ.
or what? How did that happen? Or
They were singing karaoke together.
They we were at a tiki bar in Isla Mirada, Florida, and in walks OJ with his entourage, and Van Morrison, Brown Eyed Girl was playing on the loudspeaker, and my dad and his completely shit-faced buddy that came with us on vacation with his family, they went up to him and shook his hand, and OJ was super, super charming like always, because obviously he's probably very, very evil. That doesn't make him not charming at the same time. You see his Twitter videos, he's a charming guy. Shook his hand.
Did you actually tweet that out one time? You know, if it wasn't for the killing, like, I'd actually like O.J. Simpson.
You did that?
Or he'd be very charming.
I mean, say what you want about him. The guy's charming. That's objective. That's not me trying to. I mean, it was me trying to catch some, pissed off and agreement on Twitter, ruffle feathers. But
Thank you, David.
my mom and
Troll
my
Sox Dave.
yeah, it was a troll.
Yeah.
My mom and my buddy's wife just absolutely lost their fucking minds on him.
I haven't seen it. It's on my list, though. I don't remember the OJ chase. I'm not like that familiar with OJ content. I've just kind of avoided it for whatever reason, but it's been on my
Twitter
list.
world.
But the way
true.
you are, it takes you like 48, 72 hours. You'll come back. You'll have watched 20 YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Well,
I've heard it's awesome.
It's
It
awesome.
is awesome.
It's awesome.
It is
It's
awesome.
Yeah.
Only running back in NFL history to run for 2,000 yards in a 14-game season.
Yeah, but why the trial was so...
I don't think that was
fascinating.
included in the 30 for 30, though.
I mean,
so you're just sucking OJ's dick for.
Part of his allure.
What do you say, Smitty?
I mean, movie star too. Airplane.
Well,
you kidding
that's
me?
the thing. That I can't correlate who now would be like O.J. Simpson just killing somebody. He was like the most charming, nicest, affable guy. He was supposed to be the Terminator in Terminator instead of Schwarzenegger. But James
I did not
Cameron
know
said
that.
James Cameron said he would not be a convincing enough killer. That's why he didn't get the role.
I've seen that fact before.
I have
which is
not
crazy.
heard. Did you know that?
I've seen that fact before.
That's.
It's crazy.
I mean,
Good franchise.
fucking Terminator 2 is one of the greatest movies ever, and the Terminator's great.
All right, OJ made it America off the board. Carl, you're up again.
I heard he's got a program, right?
Yeah.
All right,
so
I'll
you don't
save that
need-
for the
yeah.
fifth. I'll go commercial, and I'm going to take the Manning boys in the hallway.
That's a great.
Great.
Just playing grab ass. It doesn't hit. Some of these are like the John Clayton one is clearly a first round. This isn't a first round pick, but it belongs on the board. The Manning boys playing grab ass. They like kick each other in the ass,
Dude.
and Archie turns around and says, "Wait!"
It's probably the most relatable.
Because
Yeah.
we all did that in the grocery store.
Yeah.
And when
yeah.
it came out, it was like, "Oh, cool, dude." They're like us, huh?
Yeah.
And the way
The
the way
boys.
they shot it was awesome. Like they wore
Yeah.
like
Dude.
fucking t-shirts people would wear on like a
Cargo
fucking
shorts?
tour.
Yeah.
But I don't think that that's just how the man.
Like now that we know him,
Probably.
though,
Yeah.
I shouldn't say we know him, but now that like,
We kind of know him.
yeah, I suppose more than we did when that came out. Yeah, it makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
The very last. This is
They should run it back
burned
with
into my
Arch,
memory.
sorry.
It's burned into my memory. The very last kick, Peyton goes like around his back and kicks him
Yes.
from the back. He actually fucking kicks the shit out. Like he boots his ass.
And that's a real kick.
It's
That's a kick
no,
you
that's
do
what I'm
to
saying.
siblings
Yeah.
when
It's
you
a
are.
real kick.
yeah. And
And
he,
he crow hopped there.
oh yeah. And
Yeah.
you know that he had gotten plenty of reps in. He's
Oh
like,
yeah,
yeah.
and he made him feel it.
Yeah,
Like
Peyton-
he was, his ass was a little sore the next
I bet
day.
you Peyton was like, let's do that take again. Just keep on kicking him in the ass.
Man,
It's weird too because like you're right. I don't think it's like one of the best, but it's like one of the most memorable for some reason. Like watching it back, I was like, I remember that one.
Do we all have 30 for 30s?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I do not.
Smitty, you're up.
30 for 30. See, 30 for 30 is deep, so I'm going to go with my segment here, and this is either going to win me the draft or lose me the draft. And we're going to go with a short-lived segment that, should still be on the air.
I know what it is.
Dave, you got jacked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to win you.
Yeah.
That's going to win you the draft.
That's
Great segment.
It was on the top of
Great
my
segment.
list. I thought I'd get back, but
Man, that's a
That
good
was
segment.
oh, jacked up was unreal.
Yeah.
Jacked up.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
So who would do the segment? Tom Jackson,
Randy Moss.
Chris
No.
or
Wasn't Randy
Chris
Moss on
Carter.
that?
It was
Or Chris
before-
Carter.
yeah,
Chris
Chris
Carter.
Carter.
Chris Carter
Carter.
is so legit. Is he well regarded in Philly?
Yeah, because it wasn't his fault. Buddy Ryan actually saved his life. He was like addicted to drugs, was spending way too much money, just not in the game, and he basically said, "Get the hell out of town, clean yourself up." Went to Minnesota, became a Hall of Famer.
When you say football Hall of Famer, I do think of Chris Carter too. I know this isn't a Chris Carter pick, but it's just like he's the one who took being a Hall of Famer and just turned it into everything he is. He's a Hall of Famer.
Smitty's got a phenomenal board.
He does.
Jacked up is unreal.
Dude, he had what is this? 8 straight years over 1,000 yards receiving.
Chris Carter?
Yeah.
Oh, he was a fucking beast.
All he does is catch touchdowns. That was like another Sports Center NFL primetime thing. It was like, Chris Carter, what does he do? Catch touchdowns.
Man.
But with jacked up, now we got to pretend like concussions are like a thing.
Yeah.
We also have to pretend like guys getting jacked up isn't cool anymore. It's still awesome.
When they get up right after.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
When they get up right after. Great pick, Smitty. Chief.
Man.
I got one that's comparable.
Really?
That I'm going to take.
Smitty, I'm not saying it's one of the, sorry, Chief, it's not one of the best picks, but it's one of those picks that comes every couple of drafts where you're like, fuck, that's so good. That jacked up is.
I got one that's comparable.
Okay. Buying your time.
Thank you. I'm going to take this one. I remember like just watching and just like it made me like laugh out loud. And I think it might be in part because I love the Mets logo. But it was like they were telling the story like around the office cooler, and it goes, and he just is going on and on about him and Mrs. Met, and you could just see like Mr. Met like turn over and like being like, what the fuck? Yeah, I think he dropped something. It to me, it's just like it's a preposterous mascot, and like I just love the mascots in those Sports Center commercials.
That's what makes the commercials is the mascots,
and they're like acting like just normal ass human beings. Instead of
personify.
Awesome.
So I love that commercial. That's like a kind of. I feel like
Mr. and Mrs. Met because he's in a few. There's another notable one he's in too.
The Mr. and Mrs. Met one.
Okay.
And that one I feel like this is like a. It's becoming a verb where I chief myself because I think this is kind of a deep cut. I feel like this is from 95 or something.
I don't remember it.
Yeah, so there you go. I was between this one and like another one that was from, over 20 years ago. And so I went with this because it was like the first one I remember being like, oh my God, like that was so funny.
What's going to hurt you here is they did like 5 commercials like that with like 5 different mascots where it's the same sort of thing. Like they're talking about like a party with the Demon Deacon from Wake Forest sitting in the corner, and they like were pretending not to invite him. And Demon Deacon looks up, looks back down. They did one with Otto from Syracuse as well. Like
I know there's another one with.
The Madden covered you.
Yeah, I guess.
Tough.
Yeah. But this to me is like. I always try to pick the ones that I like. I think this one is a great commercial.
Okay. White Sox Dave.
So I got to go on-air personality or segment, and you have one of them. So that means I got to go segment. I'm going to go, this is just a staple. I'm just going to go with Chris Berman's 2-minute drill.
Mm-hmm.
Good one. Drill.
Yep. Famous one.
Yeah, for sure. And we talked about it earlier in the show.
Yep.
Big Cat and PFT still do it.
Yeah, they still do the spoof on it. I think probably at this point there are more people that would attribute the 2-minute drill to PMT instead of Chris Berman, maybe. At least they have definitely closed the gap on that. But, it's obviously a play on Chris Berman in the 2-minute drill is stupid fucking noises that he makes, and you're just rifling off all the NFL highlights from that week, and there you go. It's like quintessential Sports Center from when we were all growing up.
It's a classic. Good pick. All right, to me, I need a segment. I don't know. You tell me. Maybe I hyped it up too much because I was between this one and Jacked Up, so I wanted to wait. I'm going to take Come On Man. You remember that one?
Come on, man. That competes directly with You Got Jacked Up.
They're the same segment.
Did they start doing Come On Man because they can't do Jacked Up anymore?
No, they started doing You Got Mossed because they can't. It's like, oh, You Got Mossed. I'm like, that doesn't work.
Yeah,
that doesn't
come on, man. Like when it was like the Leon Lett play or like someone, Nathan Peterman throws 5 picks. Come on, man. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they do it in unison. They'd be like, are you ready? All right. Come on. Yep.
And it's infectious. How much joy it brings them to say it all in a group and laughing. You just can't help but love it.
No, that's good.
It's a very good segment.
Yes,
that's one of those ones where I don't know. Like it didn't even occur to me. Yeah, I guess I was only thinking Sports Center at the top of this. So,
but that's why I was like, all right, jacked up or that one. Smitty took. I was like, all right, perfect. I'm just gonna say, come on, man. Great segment.
Yep.
All right, I need my 30 for 30. Hey, really quick here. We're going to take one last break to talk about our friends at Roman. Summer days are long, so don't spend it having short sex. Roman swipes are the secret to longer lasting sex. Roman swipes are uniquely formulated to reduce overstimulation without eliminating sensation altogether. The more consistent you are with the swipes, the longer and better your sex will be. Studies show that on average, after 1 month of using swipes, men last 3 minutes, and after the second month, 5.5 minutes. That's a 340% increase. The swipes are super easy to use. You take the swipe out, apply it, and let it dry for 5 minutes, and then you enjoy the longer lasting sex. I mean, listen, we've been talking about Roman for a while on this show, and just the Chicago platforms all together. And to give those numbers, I mean, everyone likes numbers. I mean, listen, we're talking about ESPN today. It's all about stats and whatnot. You hear 340% increase, you know you're going to be doing something right. You know you're going to want the Roman swipes when you're having sex this summer, so make sure you go grab them. Go to GetRoman.com/dogwalk to get $10 off when you choose the monthly plan. That's GetRoman.com/dogwalk. One more time, GetRoman.com/dogwalk, and increase your sex time by 340% when you use the Roman swipes. All right, go do it. Let's hop back into the show. Fucking cage match. I really do love these. Like, I love watching 30 for 30s, and there's a lot of great ones. I'm going to take one. We're all kind of in the same vein, though, where we're not just taking, like, soul sports stories. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a mix of serious in it so far. Yeah, that's the
best part about them.
So I'm going to take Fantastic Lies. The Duke Lacrosse.
Haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very good. I mean, growing up, like, that, you knew the story, you knew what happened, or Duke Lacrosse scandal.
That was the #1 story in America.
Yeah.
It was so big, and then to have it be a fraud, and they told that story, like, perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was really, really good. Do you remember it, Smitty? Did you like it?
Oh, yeah.
Smitty always tells stories when we stream like Call of Duty and other shit that him and his buddies used to do the Duke Lacrosse for Halloween and stuff.
I knew you were gonna get into something just completely false and problematic at some point in this draft. Mm-hmm. See, that's Dave's deal. I say that he mistakes his dog having a rash for spaghetti sauce. He comes back at me and says,
"We work together."
Smitty,
no, it's fine.
You do not have to explain. It happens to me every single day. I know. I've known him, so don't worry. I believe you. I'm in your corner. Fantastic Lies is great.
Hold on, I got a question for Smitty.
Go ahead, David.
Do you remember when you lost $500,000 playing poker?
Yeah, and this is something he brings up every stream. Yes, I do remember when I lost $500,000 playing poker. I also remember that before that I won $500,000.
You lost $500,000?
Probably around that amount over a course of
years. Okay, I thought it was in one city.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. I won a significant amount of
and then you lost
money playing poker, and then I lost it. Yes.
Right.
And then what'd you have to do?
I was in debt and had to move back in with my parents. Yes.
And borrow money from them to pay off the rest of the debt. Yeah.
The minimal amount that was left, a few $1,000. Yes.
Well, no, not just a few thousand. What did you say? 15.
It was like $10,000. Yeah. Credit card debt.
This is
yeah. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that.
That's what I'm here for.
Now you're married to a vet that helps Dave and have a small child, so I think things worked out okay, right?
Yeah, I think things worked. And if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be at Barstool today.
There you go.
Moved back, and I couldn't go back doing stand-up comedy because that didn't pay anything, so I started my own sports blog.
There you go.
Beautiful. Yeah. I'm happy with that pick, Duke Lacrosse. White Sox Dave.
All right, I got my ESPN. So these are tough ones because I love all of them for different reasons. I'm going to go with Kenny Mayne. Kenny Mayne.
You.
Kenny Mayne's the best blend. He's got that super dry humor, but it's like it's more kind of in your face, and you know he's making jokes, but it's very dry and subtle at the same time. He's got to be a top 5 ESPN anchor from our growing up. It's Kenny Mayne. He's the fucking best. He's hilarious. So Kenny Mayne, he's my final pick.
I think he's the best at making his own original stuff, right? Like, by far the most interesting.
Definitely.
There's another guy that makes original content that hits, but it's completely different stuff. Where's Kenny Mayne from, or like what's his affiliation or team?
I think he's from Washington State.
So him and Clayton too, right? I think they're both Washington State guys.
I think so. Yeah, and he's like weird. Kenny Mayne's like a little weird. He's
goofy.
Yeah.
Is he still with them? Did they cut him?
I think he recently.
They just cut him loose.
Yeah.
Fuck. We should hire Kenny Mayne.
I think he probably made so many millions doing that each year that he's just hanging them up. That's what I would assume. He's 62 as well.
Mm-hmm. Whoa. While at UNLV, Kenny Mayne was a backup quarterback for 2 years, and he later signed as a free agent with the Seattle Seahawks.
That blows my mind.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I got his Wikipedia up too. He doesn't look like he's got an athletic bone in his body. Just one of those guys that knows every stat of every team in every league. Just a scrawny little. Didn't play, but he was good enough to sign with an NFL team. I had no idea about that.
Did you know Kenny Mayne played for the Seahawks?
No.
Would you have guessed that?
Yeah.
Did you just look that up, or did someone have that fun fact?
He picked Kenny Mayne. Smitty picked Kenny Mayne as his on air.
I did.
White Sox Dave did. And so we were just like went to the Wikipedia page to be like, where's he from? We were just talking about him, and it says right here.
Are you serious?
Backup quarterback at UNLV, which probably was so sweet being a backup quarterback at UNLV in the 80s.
Yeah, was he backing up Cunningham? Jesus Christ.
The timeline probably checks out.
Yeah, actually, probably.
Yeah. Let's not look it up and just assume that's what it was.
Wow, what a life Kenny Mayne's lived. Yeah. He backed up Randall Cunningham, played for the Seahawks. Who was the great receiver for the Seahawks before Jerry
Steve Largent.
He probably threw a ton of fucking passes to Steve Largent during practice.
Getting him warmed up.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Good for Kenny Mayne.
That's crazy.
That is fucking wild.
He's great. He's definitely one of those guys he doesn't like. Probably not as well known as the other ones that have been drafted, but if you liked him.
Yep.
You liked him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Chief.
Well, I was going to take Kenny Mayne. I thought that was going to get back to me. You walked out of the room and let out a big fuck when Dave took it. So now I'm down to one guy, and I feel like he might be polarizing among hockey fans. But Barry Melrose, he was
a great pick.
He was the face of hockey in media for 25 years or whatever before they went to NBC for a while. But I loved Barry Melrose, the hair, the slick back hair, the outsized suits, never really saying anything, but just being super likable. Loved Barry Melrose. We saw him in Vegas when we were out there just in February for that Chicklets Cup. So nice guy, great guy. No one has a mean or bad thing to say about him, anybody who's met him. So Melrose is great. So Barry Melrose, 5th round.
Was it so when the Hawks were in their dynasty run and I was actually consuming a decent amount of hockey coverage, he was the main ESPN guy for hockey, and then he got hired by the Lightning, was it?
Yeah.
And then he was so bad he was like back in the broadcast booth like a year later.
Yeah, I mean, I think they only gave him like 16 games, so he was there. It was probably like 2010. It was like Stamkos. They had it was like Stamkos' rookie year.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah.
It was when I was with Barstool. That was 2012. I want to say this was like 2014 or 15.
No, absolutely not. I'll look it up right now because I know Stamkos. It was his rookie year.
You don't gotta worry about it, but it's the mullet.
Barry Melrose,
Canadian accent.
It was 2012.
Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah.
I think this is a good pick. He was on my board as a secondary guy.
Okay, so there's like hockey hardos that are like, fuck Barry Melrose.
Don't like him?
Yeah, but Melrose.
Fuck you. He brought hockey into a fucking bunch of people's houses that didn't know much about hockey.
Absolutely. And he's just so, to me, he's just so likable. He's got one of those the hair. He's got one of those laughs that just.
He's got the Canadian accent, which makes at least a little more.
I'll love Barry Melrose forever. So.
I'm still fascinated how Barry Melrose and that program was so great for so many years, and then ESPN lost the contract and basically disassociated hockey with the entire channel. They weren't even showing hockey clips on SportsCenter
at all.
Anymore
At all. So that was the NHL gets what they deserve. They're a bunch of fucking idiots over there, but. When he was the guy in that NHL Tonight, they had the great theme song, they had the playoff coverage on ESPN was awesome, and so he was doing pre, post, in between periods for all the playoffs, NHL Tonight. He was He was great. So
Although you taking him leaves a massive heavy hitter that's going to go undrafted, which is crazy. Which will probably get shit for whatever.
Everyone done a
Yeah,
personality?
we'll wait. We'll wait.
All right.
Yeah.
Smitty, you're up. You need a 30 for 30.
Yeah, I should think there are 2 heavy hitters. I need a 30 for 30. I can either pander and win the draft right here or go with my heart and try to get this one out and have more people watch it. If I was pandering, you don't know Bo would be the pick, but I'm not going to do that. Chief of Miracles and Men. My favorite 30 for 30.
It's a toss-up between those two.
It's about the Russian side of the 1980 Soviet hockey team. We all hear about Eruzione, we all hear about Herb Brooks, all of that. This goes and actually interviews the surviving Soviets who played and the entire team that goes on. And they're actually, like, Eddie, you would appreciate this, pretty likable. Like, it's
For
very,
a communist.
Yeah, for a communist.
Yeah.
You don't know that they're communists necessarily.
They're just following the status quo.
Yeah, they're just following orders. They got to do what they got to do.
I wish I would have. I never seen it. I wish I would have watched it a couple hours ago and put it in play from here.
It's extraordinarily intriguing and interesting.
And so, do you guys like? Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
it's
I've seen
fantastic.
it.
So
Yeah, very good. And
This
it's
came up in the research, but I don't.
This is definitely draftable.
Yeah, it is.
100%.
It's a very good one, and they kind of go through the whole arc of Russian hockey because they had this other sport that I can't even remember the name of it, but it was on like a way bigger sheet of ice. They had like different size goals. It was almost more like soccer on ice in a way, or field hockey on ice in a way. And then they just like ice hockey became like the prevailing version across. And then the Soviets are like, well, to like show our dominance, we're gonna be the hockey country. And then they hired this like fat guy who was like this older coach, and then, like he came up with this crazy program, and he was like very like super lovable. Like you watch him, like man, I would love to play for that guy if he wasn't a communist. And it just describes like he like built hockey like a whole new way to play that they used to dominate for 40 years. So it was a fascinating documentary. And then like you said, like Smitty, like the other side, like those guys with they had like some of the greatest players of all time, Tretiak, and they you heard their side. So it was very, very interesting.
And not even to mention, like during the 50s, the Soviet ice hockey team all died in like a plane crash.
Yeah.
And they tried to cover it up and just put out reserves with Stalin's son coaching the team or some shit without like anybody even knowing, and just all covered up. It's a fascinating watch.
Yeah, very, very good one. We could have done like a 30 for 30 draft.
So that's been in my bank for a while. If enough, I don't know. There's no way to really gauge, but I've always wanted to do a 30 for 30 draft because I think there's more than enough.
I don't know if I've seen 25.
You haven't seen 25? There's probably like 100 now.
There definitely is. Yeah. Way over 100, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely doable. And
I think so too. I just wonder how many people listening would like that. I don't know. Let us know.
We should pick a date in the future. Okay. 6 months from now, give people time to watch more, and then we'll circle back.
Yeah. I would like to do that though. There's so many good ones. It was tough to narrow it down. Carl, Mr. Relevant.
Yeah, it's an easy one. I would have taken this first overall if I thought that it was like under threat, but I'm very delighted to take this as Mr. Irrelevant. By far the best baseball program of all time is Baseball Tonight.
Yep.
Like, it shaped everything I knew about baseball as a kid. Like, you'd play Ken Griffey during the day and you'd play lob, and then you'd go to, play like Little League and stuff, and then at night, just like the roundups from the mid-'90s and late 90s and getting to see other players and stuff. It was such a good in-studio show because I feel like that was – baseball guys do a good job afterwards, like coming in, talking the game and stuff. And it's different than, football and basketball in a lot of sense because to follow baseball – like ESPN killed that coverage to do it every single night. Like that's really the only way to do it. And it's such a high costly program to produce because you have to have all these people watching different games, clipping stuff in real time. And so that's why They got rid of it in 2017. I think it still shows up like on Sunday night every now and then for like big games and stuff.
Yeah.
They'll do like baseball tonight, with like Kirkjian and shit.
But it's so impressive that they found people that were likable, because how kind of insufferable baseball media is now.
Yeah.
And like how it is with like the Hall of Fame voting and everything. You fucking, like you said, Kirkjian. Gammons was a fucking
Gammon. I
guy.
love
He's
Gammon.
just
Jason Starr only. Like you could go on and on.
But I would say that some
Harold
of the,
Reynolds.
yes,
Yeah.
Harold Reynolds
Yeah.
was
Harold's-
so good in
yeah,
there.
I think he got.
Yeah, he was canceled for
Yeah.
being creepy.
He's on
Yeah.
MLB Net.
But
Yeah.
still, those guys were fucking awesome.
Yeah. But and I would say that some of those guys went and became insufferable. Like Gammons, I loved Gammons. Now it's like,
But I think
He's older.
kind of he got a little old and.
is that what it
I
is?
think
He
Okay.
caught a disease that I won't speak of.
Well, he's killed. I mean, he's been doing it for like 60 years.
Yeah, he was. I
But
love.
Gammons was awesome.
Yeah, he was like the Globe.
I liked
Yeah.
Carl Ravitch. John Kruk
Yes,
on there
Carl
was great.
Ravitch.
Like that. That was one of those shows that, like I said earlier, with taking web gems. Like I watched it every single
Smitty,
night.
you a John
We
Kruk
just
fan?
named 8 guys.
But then
Eight guys.
Crocker was already legendary status from his playing days
Yeah.
here, but from the Baseball Tonight and ESPN, and he's now the color guy for Phillies.
I did not
TV,
know that,
and
yeah.
people just love him. Love
He's
him.
like the kind of poor man's John Daly, I feel like, of baseball a little bit. Like fat guy, had a mullet.
Yeah, but he's actually
Was good.
knowledgeable about the game. But like he'll be a complete homer. He'll eat hot dogs.
I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And people fucking.
I heard
love
a story
it.
about John Kruk, and I'm probably butchering the details, but you'll get the point where I think it was the Phillies, whoever he was playing for at the time, traded for some stud, and John Kruk had his number. And the guy walks up to him. He's like, "Hey, I'll pay $10,000 for that number." And he's like, "You're not paying me shit for this number, but you can get me a bag of Red Man and a case of beer, and it's yours." Like that's the kind of guy John Kruk is.
He tells that story on Letterman. It was Mitch Williams.
It was okay. It was Wild
number.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and he wanted to trade it because it was Mitch Williams' wife's favorite number or something. And Kruk's like, "Oh, okay." And Mitch Williams ended up getting divorced, and the beer's all gone. It was a lose-lose.
I just want to go through this real quick. MLB insiders for Sunday Night Baseball. Murders Row. Kirkjian, Olney, Keith Law, Jeff Passan. Former hosts, Eisen, Steve Berthume, Brian Kenny.
Love Brian Kenny.
Okay, former analyst Oral Hershiser, Barry Larkin, Tino Martinez, Harold Reynolds, Steve Phillips.
Yep.
He's still around,
Steve
yeah.
Phillips was. I mean, obviously
Wait,
both those
also
guys
canceled?
sexual harassment. They're
Yeah,
out, but
he's canceled. That's right.
I mean, there's Bobby Valentine. So many
Yeah.
good.
I've been blocked by Buster Olney since like 2012.
Why?
I don't know. But it's like when people like quote tweet him, I'm always like, fuck.
I know Frank hates him too. But that many likable baseball personalities? That seems impossible.
Baseball's
Yeah.
a great sport for personalities
Right or
as a
not?
whole.
It's not the baseball players are fine. They keep to themselves. They're very quiet, like brotherhood type guys. Like very interesting. You can't get a big leaguer to talk shit about another big leaguer's talent or ability. They'll talk shit about a guy being a douchebag or a loudmouth, but like there's this very tight knit group. Like it's a weird, distinct personality because they don't want you to be like loud and brash. So it's interesting that like they do play well when you go to mainstream media because a lot of these names, I mean, dude, Aaron, again, I could read through these again. They're all like the analysis is outstanding.
Yeah.
It really is outstanding. I miss this show. Fuck.
All right, I'll read it through. Then we'll do honorable mentions. We'll get out of here. Eddie Sports Center, Dan Patrick, Arnold Palmer commercial. Come on, man. Fantastic Lies. White Sox Dave, College Game Day, The U, Steve Irwin Gator commercial. 2-Minute Drill, Kenny Mayne. Chief, NFL Primetime, The Two Escobars. Web Gems, Mr. and Mrs. Met commercial, Barry Melrose. Smitty, John Clayton, Slayer commercial, Stuart Scott, Pardon the Interruption, Jacked Up, Of Miracles and Men. Carl, Scott Van Pelt, Not Top 10. OJ Made in America, Manning Brothers commercial. Baseball tonight. Let's not do 30 for 30s.
Yeah.
Honorable mention, just in case if we do do it.
Sure.
So let's skip that. Nobody mentioned any more of those. Let's do personalities. I mean, Chris Berman, we're going to get killed for, right?
I don't think so. He can be fucking.
But he's
annoying.
so iconic, though.
Yeah.
So I the only reason I didn't take him is because I feel like I took him with NFL primetime.
Yeah.
That's how I was
a good way to
like.
put it.
That's
a good way to think.
for the 2-minute drill. That's like as much Chris Berman as I need.
Well, I mean, home run derby. Come on, back.
Yeah, but like
It's the same thing every year.
But he said it like 45 times in like 15 minutes for the home run derby, and it was just like, all right, man, that's enough.
we get it. Yeah.
You could win with 2 pitches, right,
Well,
Carl?
he was
Yeah.
he was there in 1979 all the way through.
He's like the founder. Yeah.
Yeah,
He was
You're with-
the OG, right?
Yeah.
Was it him and
You're with-
Overman?
Come here, Leather.
No.
No,
Or you're with
him and
me,
Bob
Leather.
Lake.
Yeah.
What's that story? He's in a Tampa restaurant. Like a woman walks in, like leather pants or something. He just like goes up. He's like, "You're with me tonight, Leather."
He had a million of those leaks. Internet 1.0.
Oh yeah,
Like the
freaking out.
The
on people.
rant.
yeah.
The rant's like all time.
Talking
Did they get
about
drafted?
getting like Tylenol from Canada because it has like the extra codeine in it, stuff like that.
Speaking of which, if anybody has an extra 20 minutes, read the Jamarcus Russell Players Tribune article about the codeine syrup. Absolutely fucking gut-wrenching what he went through. So,
Check it out.
I
Damn.
heard codeine. I figured I'd throw that out there.
Anything else? The tier 2s I was talking about that are still right there are John Anderson and Steve Levy.
Yeah.
I love Steve Levy. Yeah.
I think you're missing a big one.
You know John
Rinaldi?
Anderson?
Rinaldi? Aaron
I mean,
Andrews?
what about like Kirk Herbstreit and
Well, I'm just saying
Lee
anchors. I'm
Corso.
just saying
Yeah,
anchors. I'm just saying
anchors.
anchors.
Yeah.
Sports
okay,
anchors.
anchors?
John Anderson, I'm telling you, that's someone you won't remember the name, but if you look at him, you'll be like, oh,
he
yeah.
was in the
that
Gator
guy.
commercial.
I remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had
He
like
was-
kind of a buzz cut.
It was
sort
like
of
a
deal.
flat top,
Yeah.
like Pat
Yeah.
Fitzgerald
Yeah.
with the glasses.
Wasn't it John and Neil Anderson? Or who was
Neil Anderson, too. And Neil
Yeah.
Everett. Neil Everett.
Neil
Neil
Everett.
Everett and John
Neil Everett was
Anderson?
good, yeah.
They tag teamed together. They were like the main
Linda Cohn's
They
was
duo
great.
for a little bit.
They were like the second coming kind of Olbermann and Patrick, but they were never quite that good.
Linda
Yeah.
Cohen was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Linda Cohn is
Also-
great. Susie Colbert, great.
Also, Butchie Gross and Rich Eisen.
Bougie Girls kind of annoys me.
He kind of annoys me a little bit too.
I have this
Sometimes.
Sports Center DVD that my brother's ex-girlfriend gave me in college or something. It was like, 07, 08 or something. And it's like Christmas. Like, hey, I got you a Christmas present. Like, what?
Also, a
And
very
it was
sly-
2008 Sports Center year in review or something. It actually is a pretty good DVD.
That
I
sounds
used to
interesting.
love
Yeah.
the Sports Illustrated year in review.
Yeah, those aren't bad. It's not bad
VHS,
programming,
Yeah,
no.
That was great.
Sorry, Smith.
Oh, it's all right. Sly one. Not there for long. Craig Kimbrell left to do the original Daily Show. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
awesome
Yeah.
as a Sports Center anchor.
Yeah,
Good cameo in Old School.
That's true. Yeah, the scummy boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said Stephen A., right, Smitty?
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. I've kind of
he's
come
so
around
good.
on him. I used to hate him,
He's
and
just
now
great.
like I think he's just hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kuiper McShay are classic.
Yep.
Oh, I meant to take Kuiper.
Did you? Yeah,
Well,
Kuiper.
when we were
Yeah,
talking
that's
about
what
maybe
you
we
do.
should do 2 people instead of a segment
Yeah,
because it was
yeah.
like what should
Yeah.
be the last category? Should we do an
John Clayton.
yeah.
Kornheiser's the fucking man, but PTI kind of covers him.
Yep.
Original programming.
So what would you guys have taken there at Mr. Irrelevant other than baseball tonight?
I thought
I
it was
got 4.
I thought it was kind of cheating, but I was gonna take The Last Dance. It was
Yeah,
on my
that's the one.
list.
If you draft that, it's so fucking lame.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
it-
see, that's
I
like
thought you said Van
oh.
Talk. I thought you meant Van Talk.
Oh
would've
no,
been
I was
lame.
gonna say it's lame.
Well,
if you
that
take,
would've been
like
2.
If you take like Monday Night Football,
yeah.
because that's technically
Oh.
a broadcast, but like that would have been lame.
When you
That's-
guys said lame, I definitely thought someone was going
happy-
to come in here and be like, Van Talk was a good.
oh no, I'm happy no one did like Monday Night Football or like
Yeah.
Sunday Night Baseball. Like I thought that would have been lame.
So I think the best show I can't turn off is NFL matchup with Sal Paolantonio and Jaws.
I loved that, and it was always on at like 6 a.m. And I got up like when as a little kid and being like, "Oh, tell me about
He's
the
going to
cover
look off
two.
the safety.
Tell me about cover 2." And they would do like the effects where they would like shadow like one part of the field. So it'd be like this part is like eliminated. You're only focused on like these 2 routes on this side. I thought that was a great show. I loved that Edge NFL matchup.
Yeah.
It was Sal
I got-
Paolantonio and then the guy with the big necktie.
Merrill Hodge and
Merrill
Jaws.
Hodge. Merrill Hodge.
Merrill
Yes.
Hodge.
Merrill Hodge. Yes.
Jesus.
Thank you.
What's his deal? I haven't heard that
I'm
name.
noggin on that, man.
gonna say
I think they
Smitty?
just ran out of needing a guy who played fullback in the early 90s.
Yeah, helmet for a head. I too wouldn't have played well, but outside the lines, and I might have just thrown this in here for spite. The ultimate dad porn show Sunday. Sports reporters.
Sports reporters. Yeah.
Oh, where they
Every
just sat in like a
Sunday.
circle and there was like no voice inflection or raising of it. They just talked.
We would
Yeah.
get my dad would get
Like-
so mad if that was on in the house when we were kids. He'd be like, "Turn that shit off."
It was
right
like Mike
now."
Lupica, right?
Lupica.
Yeah.
Like Lupica.
Yeah, I remember there was like a time where I was like, when I was little, and I was like, I want to work for ESPN, and then I was watching that show, and I was probably like 10. I'm like, wait a second, all these guys are fucking nerds.
All of them. Yeah.
I don't want to be these guys.
Every last one of them.
Yeah.
Outside the line,
Take
is
themselves
solid.
way too early.
Yeah.
For
Shout out-
segment,
shout
I
out
was
Mitch
gonna
Albom.
Mitch Albom. Yep, that just such a nerd.
So
Has
that
he ever
three,
touched a baseball in his life?
3 I have left. I have Stump the Schwab, which is fucking pretty good.
It was, dude.
We good.
That one.
I'd rather have Schwab as the on-air guy than something Schwab.
And Stump the Schwab. I have. Do you remember top 5 reasons you can't blame? It was awesome. It was Kenny Albert, I think, did it, and it was like top 5 reasons you can't blame Steve Barber for the Cubs losing the 2003 NLCS.
Yeah,
They
that
did
was
4
good.
seasons
That
of
was
it. It
good.
was awesome show.
Yep.
And then ESPN News, Michael Kim.
Yeah.
Just give me the news. Give me the
All
bottom
right.
line. Give me the Nomar trade.
So I got 2.
You and that Nomar trade.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's what I broke. That's what I watched.
I know.
Always,
Yeah.
I'll always.
The Y2K with
Yeah.
Charlie Steiner. I thought Charlie Steiner was great too. He had the other commercial with Evander Holyfield that was really funny. And I had one other. I'm blank. I had it and lost it out of my
The Charlie
brain.
Steiner one is good because
Come on and get your
commercials?
whooping.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. That one and then the Y2K where it's like it's chaos.
follow me to freedom.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the tie around.
Yeah,
his
he's
head.
got like Rambo.
Yeah,
He's got war paint on.
yeah.
All the mascots are going crazy in the background.
That was the one I was between with Mr. Met in that one.
That's a great one. Just so dated though. Like
Yeah.
I would have put in. There was a Big Brother one with Kenny Mayne and Stuart Scott where they're playing basketball, like Big Brother style with CYO
Oh
kids.
yeah.
Just beating the living shit out of them.
That was like the Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison rather. Yeah.
I had a category. I didn't know how to like suggest it, but I thought it'd be a good category. Would have been like where you kind of have to draft the correspondent and then the story that the correspondent was attached to. So like I'm taking Pedro Gomez in the Bay following Barry Bonds around for 3 years. I'm taking Ed Werder
Down
in
in
camp.
Hattiesburg.
Yeah, I'm taking Edward. I'm taking Sal Pale out in front of Terrell Owens' house in 2002 because I feel like ESPN has always had like a stable of people who are like, no, you just go sit outside the Lakers.
I'm pretty sure like you could send mail to Ed Werner in Hattiesburg, Mississippi right now, and he'd get it because he was just there
Brett
all the time for Brett Favre.
Yeah.
And I think Sal Pal, I think at Deflategate, probably because of Portnoy.
That
But
would have been great.
yeah, that would have been great.
Any other commercials? There's so many.
I had
The
one.
LeBron James chair one.
Oh,
go
no,
Harry,
yeah.
let's
Yeah.
go.
The Ovechkin one where it's like, are you a Russian spy?
spy, yeah.
I just laugh at that
That's a
every
good one.
time.
Another
LeBron
really.
James one I had on
Yeah.
that
With
the
one.
chair,
That was
yeah.
good.
Did you steal my chair? Yeah.
No.
They're one that's they still play to this day that I love it. It's so stupid and it's really quick. I don't even think there's a line in it, but it's the Oregon Duck just smashing away in the keyboards. And then he looks outside his window, and it's just a normal office building with a little
Yeah, that's a
retention
good
pond.
one.
And there's real ducks in the pond just swimming around, and he leans back, and he's like all serene and relaxed because he's looking at the ducks in their like natural habitat.
That's a good one too.
It's just really funny.
Yeah. Well, it's another very relatable one. Like I would rather be doing anything than being in this fucking office.
And he's just sitting there with his big Mickey
That's
Mouse
a good one,
gloves.
yeah. Stone Cold chair shot. That was great.
The New Jersey Devil.
New Jersey Devil in the elevator.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Going
That's
down?
a really
Going
good
up?
Nope.
Dude, what would we have done if we didn't have ESPN? Like, I feel like
I
all
don't
these
know.
childhood memories are just flooding in right now.
It's crazy.
Smitty, do you remember when you got deposed for calling a former coworker of us a racial epithet about white people, and then you dressed him up like a saltine cracker
I did not do that. No more did.
with
Made
Mickey
a
Mouse arms?
graphical character, yes, of him.
And then you started laughing in the deposing lawyer's face.
Well, I didn't expect to see that image ever again. So yes, I do remember that.
And then your lawyer
Can
started
you-
laughing
can-
as well.
Can you just like derail the entire fucking show even more? There's 10 people here.
Smitty, this is every day, brother.
It's not every day.
Any other segments? I have 3. Top 10, obviously.
Yeah.
One big thing. Scott Van Pelt's.
Yeah,
he does.
Sports science.
Yeah.
Oh, that
that's
was-
a show. I think.
that was a
But it
great
started as a segment.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
started
Yeah.
John Brinkus.
Yeah.
That was actually sweet. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
And the big finish in PTO.
And then My Wish I had on there.
Tom Rinaldi.
Sad.
Yeah.
I got a good one that was missed. Gruden's QB camp.
Oh, that was a good show.
Yeah,
They
where he
turned
would
that
bring
into
in-
a show too. right? Where they,
I think they might have
Oh, was
actually.
it?
Yeah, I think
thought it was
like
just a segment.
No, I think it may have started as a segment, but are we talking about the same one where they have like all the
The first round quarterbacks.
Yeah. So
I want to
think
see
just
Eddie
come
host
in.
one of those shows with like undrafted free agent linemen,
just get Alex Bars in here.
but
Just-
talk no technical at all. Nothing to do with playing the game of football. Just all personality.
And you still are circling up.
That was
and
one of my
drawing
first
the-
ideas. We were here, but it just didn't have the connections.
But it's not that it's not dead, is it? It's still
No,
it
it's
still lives
possible.
in its baby infancy.
it's possible.
Put the word out.
All right, Smitty, thank you.
No, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Any last
Besides
words of Dave?
Of course. I mean, he needs to get back to his barn. I mean, the trough is getting like.
it's not nice.
All right.
He's
Smitty.
got the same 3 repurposed jokes for everything he says about me.
And they will play every fucking time.
Just like you losing $500,000 and having mooch money
I
off your
don't
parents
think
will
so.
play every time.
You guys like each other.
I don't like Smitty.
Yes, you do.
I'm on record as saying he's the only person in this company I would rough and rowdy.
Phillies White Sox World Series inbound.
Inbound.
There will be a rough and rowdy before that if that ever happens.
Would you do it, Smitty?
I'll agree to that. If there is a Phillies White Sox World Series, I will fight you.
Well, now I'm rooting for 2 teams, and then also I want it to be like the end of Rocky 2, where they just knock each other out simultaneously, like they both lose.
Yeah, I might have to be on my knees to be within the rules of the boxing commission, but
Thank you,
I will do
Smitty.
it.
Thanks, Smitty.
All right, that's it,
Thank you,
everybody.
gentlemen.
Thank you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you then.